going through a bunch of these questions last class on Monday. Did we have any others we wanted to see you go over, review before your quiz today? So for number 2, we have to find the slope and the y-intercept. Y-intercept is easiest because it's on the y-axis, but be careful here because it's really close to -4, but not exactly on it. -5 would work. And then if you don't see points, look for another point that crosses the grid lines exactly. It would be here. Does anyone need another study guide review before I begin? And you don't have to take out if you feel like you're good at these things. Looking at these 2 points, what would this slope be? -8. We can simplify it. So our equation y equals -8x minus 5.
You need number 10.
Number 10 on the next page. On this page. There. 17, 15, 13. So for number 10, we are using our point slope. We may have written that on this page. I'll write it again. Where we are given a point and given a slope, so that's your x1, y1, and your m. So we would put all of that into our formula format. So this would be y, you can put -4 or just put +4 equals our slope -1/5 times x minus 5. Distribute the -1/5. And then get rid of the 4. So that our final equation would be y equals -1/5 x minus 3. Questions on that one before we do 13? We are given 2 points, so we have to find the slope first, and then use our point slope form. So label them if you need to, x1, y1, x2, y2, so this would be 2 minus 3 over 5 minus a -4 or plus 4 to give us -1/9. And you can use either point that you want. Let's say I'm using this one, it doesn't matter. So I have y minus 3 equals -1/9 times x plus 4. And when we distribute, we're going to end up with a fraction, y-intercept. -4/9. We would add 3 to it. And then whatever that is would be our answer. Sometimes you will get fraction y-intercepts, yes.
So when you have 2 order pairs, does it matter which one you use?
You can use the first, the second. Just don't mix them. Don't use like the x for this one and the y for this one, or vice versa. Other questions?
Can you go over number 8?
8.
The last page.
On the left. one. The one before that. This number 8. Okay. Okay, for this one, we have to solve this, get it back into slope-intercept form by subtracting 2x. Dividing everything by -2. I'll write this under here. So this equation would be y equals 1x, which is x minus 3. If we are trying to find an equation that is perpendicular to this, we can cross out this y-intercept, we don't need it. What would our new slope be if it's perpendicular to this one? -1. Okay, the 1, flip it, make it negative. And then we have our x1, y1, and we're going to use our point slope. So y minus 3 equals -1 times x plus 2, or minus 2, and then change it. Distribute, and then less.
Why would it not be x minus 2?
You could do that, but it would be minus. And then you have to change it to a plus. Here.
If we put x plus 2, but we didn't show like x minus 2.
That's fine.
Okay.
This is fine. But if you do this and then go straight into distributing, that is where you would get points taken off. So either do that, change it to the plus, and then distribute, or just start off with this. So the equation that is perpendicular to this one would be y equals -1x plus 1.
But it can also be negative x, right? Like
Just -x plus 1. Yeah. Other questions? Next, if you have a question. Okay. 23 on which page? This one?
yeah.
It's like a cage with 6 boxes. 23 on the bottom, I think we did 22 last time. 23 is very similar. We have to find the value of a, that would make the first equation perpendicular. So if we were to solve the second one, add 4x on both sides. And divide everything by 3. We have y equals 4 over 3, x plus 7 over 3. If we wanted to find the value that is perpendicular, you would take that, flip it, make it negative. What would that value be? -3 equals. Other questions? On the same page. We didn't do 20 already. I've done this so many times I don't. No, we didn't. So for this, we have to find the slope that is parallel and perpendicular to each of these. For line A, what would the slope that's parallel be? For this one, it's not in slope-intercept form, but if you know that it would just be switched, you don't have to switch it. What would the slope that's parallel be? -2. What would the slope that's perpendicular be? +1/2. For C, we have to solve, divide everything by 2. What would the slope that's parallel be? 3/2. And the slope that is perpendicular? Other questions? Did you have a question? Anyone? Sure. So some of these we have to solve, some are already solved. A, we have to solve, put them both into slope-intercept form. Subtract x to both equations on both sides. So the first one is y equals -x plus 5. The second one is y equals -x minus 10. Are those parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Parallel. How do we know they're parallel?
Because the slopes are the same.
Slopes are the same and
Different y-intercepts.
they have different y-intercepts. Okay. For B, they're already in slope-intercept form, so we don't have to solve it. Are those parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Parallel for the same reason, same slope, different y-intercepts. For C, we have to solve. Subtract 3x on both sides to both equations. And divide -8 on one equation and -6 on the other. I'm going to write these up here. So this one would be y equals +3/8 x minus 11/8. And this one would be y equals 1/2 x minus 5/3. Parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Neither would be neither. The slopes have nothing to do with each other. They're not the same. They're not negative reciprocals. Neither. Yes.
The same slope and the same y-intercept, does that mean neither?
Yes, technically, because they would be the same line. Like perpendicular, parallel, neither. Yes. That's
Yeah, could we do number 6 on the last page?
6. Like the very last page, the back. Right. Similar to the other one we did like this, but we're not having to solve for it. It's already in slope-intercept form. Cross out the y-intercept, we don't need that. We're looking for a line that is perpendicular to this one. What would that slope be? -4/3. I'm going to write that off the side. And then we're using our point slope with our x1, y1, and our m. So y minus 5 equals -4/3 times x. I'm going to put plus 3. But if you put minus minus, that's also fine. We just have to change it first. Distribute and then solve. So that our perpendicular equation is y equals -4/5 x plus 1. I don't know why I did that. I was looking at this 5, you have 3, 4
Question 19.
Question 19 on which one? This one? Or this is just like the problem you just did. Looking for something that's perpendicular. What would the new slope be? 1/3. It is a little hard to see. This is y equals negative 3x plus 7. That's what the y-intercept. Use your point slope function. Y minus 0 equals 1/3 times x plus 2.
Do you consider it not showing us enough if you just don't write -0 and you just leave it blank?
That would be fine. So if you have the 0 there and you just skip that part and just put y equals, that is fine. But if it doesn't say 0, you should be doing that. So I'm going to stop. When we get back from lunch, you will take your quiz. It is still collaborative. It is short because it's only 2 objectives, so 2 questions per. And then when you finish, you can be working on Delta Math, missing Delta Math from this unit or the past. More review questions for your test on Friday, or retake work if you feel like you're good with these things. Prior to us going to lunch, you can keep working through the review, ask